Hey there, I'm Benjamin from Loves Data. In this video, I'm covering a question from my community. It comes from Caleb, who's looking for a simple way to track PayPal so he can understand the performance of his AdWords campaigns. So let's take a look at how we can track PayPal transactions into Google Analytics and Google AdWords. Let's get started. There are different ways that you can track PayPal into Google Analytics. The first thing to point out is that you can't install the Google Analytics tracking code on the PayPal checkout pages. So if you are sending people to PayPal to complete their transaction, you will need to implement your own solution to collect data into your reports. Now, one of the simplest options is to track the click on the PayPal button as a conversion. This is easy to do, but the downside is that the conversion data won't be accurate. This is because we will be over-reporting. Some people will click on the PayPal button but won't actually end up completing the transaction. They might close their browser or change their mind. So the next option is to track transactions once people have completed the transaction on PayPal and have returned to your website. You can define a thank you page on your website that includes some extra code to capture the transaction amount. Now, the problem with this method is you'll be under-reporting. Some people will complete the transaction but won't make it back to your website. This leaves one more option, which is my preferred option. And this is where we get PayPal to send us details of all our successful transactions, and we send that data directly into Google Analytics. Now, the way I do this is using Zapier, which allows you to connect different platforms together so they can talk to each other. So there are three options that you can use to track PayPal into Google Analytics. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the first option. This is where you track clicks on the PayPal button as a conversion into your reports. I will be covering my Zapier solution in a future video. In the meantime, you can find a link to my blog post in the description below. So let's walk through the steps we need to follow in order to track clicks on a PayPal button into Google Analytics. So here on my sample page, I can see there's a PayPal Buy Now button embedded within the content. Let's have a look at how I've added this to the page. I'm just going to flip into WordPress. And we can see the content. We can see I have the PayPal button included using the asynchronous code from PayPal. We can also use the standard form code. That's perfectly fine. What we're going to need to do before we configure our goal inside Google Analytics is we need to make sure we're using Cometo Analytics. Cometo Analytics is free, open source code that you can add to your website to automatically track a range of different interactions, including form interactions like the PayPal Buy Now button. Head down to the description. I've included a link to another video that covers Cometo Analytics in more detail. To show you quickly though, we head into Google Tag Manager and we make sure that we have Cometo Analytics set up. The key thing here is to make sure that you're tracking forms. This allows you to automatically track clicks on the PayPal button into Google Analytics. Now I'm going to head back to my sample page and I'll click on the Buy Now button. This will direct us to PayPal. Now I can head to Google Analytics and I can see that the click on the Buy Now button has been tracked into Google Analytics. And I can see all the different form fields being reported. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a note of one of the hidden fields. I'm going to make a note of hidden CMD. This will be what I use inside my goal configuration. So I'll report a conversion when an event is tracked that includes this hidden field. Now I can configure a new goal inside Google Analytics. So I'll head to the admin section. And I can select Add New Goal, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and select Custom. And then select Continue. And now I'm going to name my goal. And I'm going to select Event as the goal type. Now I'm going to put in my condition, so the category from Cometo Analytics is Form, the action is Form, and I'm putting in the label as Hidden CMD, which is from the event tracking. This means that when someone clicks on the PayPal Buy Now button, it'll include that hidden field, and this will only report that particular type of form submission as a conversion. Now I can click on Save. I can see I have my goal configured, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back to my sample page, and I'm going to refresh the page and click on the button again. I should now see this reported in the real-time conversion report. So coming back into the real-time reports, I can now select conversions. And I can see now that one conversion being reported into Google Analytics, and I'll also find this in the standard conversion reports too. So now, in order to actually pull this into Google AdWords, all I need to do is make sure that my Google Analytics account is correctly linked to Google AdWords, and then I can head into Google AdWords and import that conversion. Then I'll be able to report on the performance of my campaigns based on people clicking on the PayPal Buy Now button. So that's how we can track PayPal into Google Analytics and Google AdWords. The option you choose will depend on what you'd like to see in your reports. How are you tracking PayPal? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please like it so I know to make more videos like this. I'll see you next time.